Hi everyone, I'm Gaynor from HDB Upgrading Strategist, and right now actually I'm in my office, and I thought that I would like to take this opportunity to share with you guys or probably demonstrate how some of the tips and strategies that I use to spot some of the good property investments. And I think this will be extremely useful for you if probably you also might be looking for a property to invest, or probably now you might be looking to upgrade from a HDB to a private property. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to my computer screen recording. So as you can see, the screen right now, the number one big factor that I am very concerned when we are talking about property investment is the entry price of a property. Now, very simple. You wouldn't want to buy something that's too expensive, right? You wouldn't want to buy something that is, so expensive that it's not easy for you to exit. So entry price is something that what we want to determine today, right, in this video. So I'm going to share with you how am I going to determine the entry price for a property before we actually, keen to purchase it. Okay. So for this instance, we'll be using Sims Urban Oasis. Now, Sims Urban Oasis is a project that is probably 2 to 3 years back when it was first launched. This is a project that I've been asking most of my clients to really look into to invest. And why? Because during the time, when I determine the entry price is really right. And for today, I'll be using a 3 bedroom to do an apple to apple comparison between the surrounding projects, so that this is how we really determine whether this is the right price to buy. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is actually the MRT track, right? So one thing we want to know is what are the competitors. And as you can see, Sims Urban Oasis is a project that's just beside Aljunied MRT. So what we want to really try to analyze is what are the other projects that is nearby to the MRT stations, and also what are their prices they are selling. So for this instance, we will be using Lavender MRT and Paya Lebar MRT and do a comparison between the projects. Okay. Now, now you can see now this project is actually Kallang Riverside. It's actually 20 minutes away from Lavender MRT, right? It's definitely not walking distance, but it's still probably 15 to 20 minutes, right? And and for their 3 bedrooms, you can see that their sizes is around 106 square meters, and it's around 1,140 square feet. Now from the floor plan, you can really see that, as you enter, this is the 3 bedrooms, right? Bedroom 1, bedroom 3, bedroom, master bedroom, and you have the kitchen and you have the yard. So the size is 1,140 square feet. So how much does it cost? Now, as you can see, in year 2018, this is the sizes, and the per square foot has actually reached to 2,000 over dollars PSF. So the minimum is actually 2,100 over dollars, and it reaches up to 2,300 over dollars. And the quantum actually costs around 2.4 over million to up to 2.6 over million dollars, right? So to own a 3 bedroom in Kallang Riverside, it will cost you 2,000 over dollars, an average of $2,200 per square foot. And to afford it is actually 2.5 over million. So it's actually quite expensive, right? So in summary, you can see that this is the square feet, 1,000, the size, and the PSF 2,200, and around 2.5 to 2.6 million dollars to own a property. Now the next thing we want to see is another project, which is Katong Regency. And of course, I think this is much nearer to the MRT, which is Paya Lebar MRT. Walking distance probably 10 to 15 minutes. And Katong Regency is actually a mixed development, because the right below we have shops, shopping mall, and the above is actually the residence. So in terms of size, one thing I just have to apologize, because this image is a little bit not clear, but never mind, I just walk you through. A 3 bedroom actually, typical 3 bedroom is actually 129 square meters. The size is 1,389 square feet, so it's bigger in size. Now, as you enter, this is the floor plan. You enter, this will be the kitchen, this will be the storeroom, this will be the yard area. They actually have 3 bedrooms as well. This will be the master. So 3 proper bedrooms. Now, so how much does it cost? So for Katong Regency, one thing you have to take note that I actually extracted the transactions that happened in 2012. Why? Because in 2018 we really don't have any transactions at all. The latest was actually in 2017, and it already went up to 1,500 over dollars per square foot. So in 2012, in the year 2002, you can see that the transactions is also around 1,400 over dollars per square foot, and it reaches up to 1,700 over dollars per square foot, right? And to own the project, to own a 3-bedroom in Katong Regency, it actually costs you around two million over dollars, 2,234,000, up to I think even 2.2 over million dollars, right? So if you really see my comparison chart, now the size is actually bigger than Kallang Riverside. However, the PSF is definitely much cheaper. It's actually $1,550 per square foot, and it costs 2.1 to 2.2 million. Now, one thing we have to take note, the price in terms of PSF, why there's a drop. Now, because you have to understand that the transactions that actually extracted is actually happened in 2012, whereas in Kallang Riverside it happens in 2018. So there's the year difference, right? That's why this is 2012. During the time the pricing is cheaper, right? So now let's take a look at Sims Urban Oasis. Now this is the map. Sims Urban Oasis is actually a big development. It's probably 1,000 over units, and I think in terms of MRT, it's definitely walking distance. I think probably just 10 minutes you will reach Ajuni MRT station, right? Let's take a look at the size. Now, a proper 3-bedroom in Sims Urban Oasis is actually 1,033 square feet. Now, this is the floor plan that I extracted. Now, as you can see, this is the main door entrance. As you enter, you have actually a dry kitchen and a wet kitchen. And this is the utility. We have 3 proper bedrooms. And, this is actually one of the premium 3 bedrooms in Sims Urban Oasis. So let's take a look at the pricing. Now, you can actually see, that the price, the PSF, actually costs you the cheapest is 1,200 over dollars per square foot, and it reaches all the way up to 1,400 over dollars per square foot. And the quantum, as in how much does it cost for a 3-bedroom? It actually ranges from 1.3 over million to actually 1.4 over million, and it seems quite affordable, right? So if we really look at the MRT track competitors, so this is something you really have to take note. Now, in Lavender, which is Kallang Riverside, the PSF is actually 2,200 over dollars per square foot. Now, if we look at Paya Lebar, it's actually $1,550 per square foot. And we look at Sims Urban Oasis, it actually costs much cheaper, which is $1,300 per square foot. So just the MRT stops, just the projects that is, at the MRT stations, and we are talking about just a few station stops, and we can see that the price difference, such a huge difference, right? So let's go back to the comparison. Now, as you can see in Sims Urban Oasis, this